It's the Orioles on Masson on a beautiful night downtown for baseball. It's the Orioles and the New York Mets tonight. It's game one in this two-game interleague series. And hi, everyone. I'm Jim Hunter. Thanks so much for joining us. Now, the Orioles may be out of the playoff race, but the remaining games to be played are very important for the players, especially the players who are hoping to prove that they should be part of the rebuild. Now, 3 of the 15 players acquired at the trade deadline are already here, and now so is Cedric Mullins, one of the top prospects promoted last Friday night. But the first to arrive is really beginning to show that he can hit, and he's hoping that means he could stick, and that's Renato Nunez, who was the first to join. He replaced Manny Machado on the active roster following the All-Star break. Now, Nunez, this is a great pickup by the organization, just 24 years old. He's out of Venezuela. Orioles got him on May 13th on a waiver claim from Texas. He then was outrighted to AAA, but look what he's doing at the plate, .348 in his last 18 games. And as they say, if you can hit, they'll find a place for you to play. Now, Mike Bordick, Nunez is showing he can hit, but what will you look for in the remaining games going forward? What he's done, or more importantly, what he needs to do to show that he's part of the rebuild?
Well, he's got to stay hot with the bat. I think that's the most important thing. He's got some unbelievable minor league numbers. Last year, 32 home runs, and he's swinging it right now. And you can tell some of these outfielders getting beat deep. Yeah, he's got that extra thump. He's got extra push on the ball, and he hit a home run down in Tampa, one of the longest home runs hit by an Oriole this season. It was a big ball. And there you see this last series against the Red Sox, he whistled one over Martinez's head. So he's got a little juice in his bat, and he's also got some great athleticism down at third base. I mean, when he makes a big-time play, it's pretty special. I mean, but he's also got the mental mistakes, the problem sometimes with reading hops, maybe not knowing the speed of the runner at times or the speed of the baseball, some adjustments, some detail to defense that really have to be addressed. And it's concerning to the point that it seems like the Orioles, Buck Showalter, talks about defense on a daily basis and the importance of it. So even this afternoon, I mean, we're so far into the season, but there are so many new faces. Infield coach Bobby Dickerson was on the field today working with these guys, trying to get them more fundamentally sound. A lot of times it's just one or two different words that can really change how a guy approaches a defensive game. I think he's got a lot of athleticism. I think these are an important month and a half for Nunez, just to show that he can handle the big leagues. He broke in at like 22 years old. Here's a look at Bobby Dickerson out there working with the Orioles infielders. I mean, this is a group of young players that really need to pound the fundamentals and become efficient infielders. We've seen too many miscues, too many extra opportunities for the opposition. It's driving, obviously, infield coach Bobby Dickerson crazy with those extra opportunities, and of course the manager as well. So Bobby's out there trying to clean him up, tighten it up, and Nunez, one of those guys that's really got to pay attention to the fundamentals of the game defensively.
So 5 of the 25 on the active roster hoping to be part of that rebuild. We're coming back to Camden Yards. O's and Mets lineups and first pitch are next. You by Southwest. Low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Well, the Orioles, after a day off yesterday, continuing their homestand. Our game time temperature is brought to you by BGE Home. We know more, we do more. 81 degrees, just a slight breeze, 61% humidity, and mostly cloudy skies as we get underway here tonight. Well, the Mets come in at 50 and 66, and here is their lineup. Ahmed Rosario and Jeff McNeil up top. Michael Conforto will DH tonight. 289 average, 11 home runs, 21 RBIs. Flores, Nimmo, and Frazier. Austin Jackson, a new addition at center field. Then Jose Bautista and Kevin Plawecki will catch him bat ninth.
Yeah, let's take a look at Andrew Cashner's pitch arsenal this season. He's got them all, but it seems like the curveball really emerging as his top secondary pitch. The slider, believe it or not, he's throwing it more this season. He's been able to steal some early strikes in the middle of a ball game and obviously use it as a put-away pitch. Bury it down in the dirt. Fastball command obviously crucial for Cashner as well, but he's coming off a strong 7-inning start against Tampa. He gave up 1 earned run, unfortunately. Once again, no decision. Only 3 wins on the year for Cashner. 4.83 earned run average. Opponent's hitting .278. He's had some really good starts this season, and of course some really not so good starts. Home runs hurt him just like everybody in the rotation. 17 given up this year for Cashner.
He's looking for his first win since July the 27th when he beat Tampa Bay right here at Camden Yards. So here is Ahmed Rosario, the young shortstop. Comes in 7 for his last 21 and 4 RBIs. Rosario just 22 years old from the Dominican Republic. And we are underway at Camden Yards, and there's a strike.
And Mets going to look at some young players as well. They're not where they want to be, or have been where they want to be for a long time due to so many injuries at the beginning of the year.
A little bit outside, 1-1 on Rosario, who is facing Cashner. There's Mickey Callaway, their new skipper. It's his first year, former Indians pitching coach. And a called strike, so it's 1-2.
A nice 2-seam fastball right there from Cashner. Backdoor in the heater and bringing it back on that outer edge.
Rosario last night in the 1-game makeup against the Yankees homered leading off the game. It was his first career leadoff home run. In fact, the Mets in that game, they turned the Yankees tables on the Yankees. They had 5 home runs.
Yeah, how about that? And of course the Mets, they're struggling so much at their home park, but once they get on the road, they're a much better team. So danger with this offense.
And there's a strike 3 called at the knees. Good start for Cashner.
Yeah, that'll shut down an offense right away. Take a look at the Mercedes pitch cast here. A little 2-seam fastball once again, and he is just working that outside corner. Had one come back earlier in the AB. That's a much better 2-strike pitch, and Joseph back there locking it up. Yeah, big first out. Start the game.
Here is rookie Jeff McNeil, who sure took a while to get to the big leagues. He is a 26-year-old rookie. And Cashner gets a breaking ball in there for a strike. Got to love those get me over curves.
Absolutely. I mean, that's such a great pitch, especially early in a ball game. And if you have the ability to command it like Cashner's shown this season, it's a nice way to start the ball game. Keep hitters off the ball as well.
Guy to left field. There's Mancini. And he's got it. 2 men down.
And take a look at the Oriole defense behind Cashner tonight. Mancini, Mullins, and Jones roaming the outfield here at Camden. Beckham and VR up the middle, turning 2. Nunez over at third base. Davis back at first, and Caleb Joseph doing the catching tonight. And take a look at Nunez over at third base. Highlighted him in the open. Swinging the bat very well. Some inconsistencies defensively, but also seen a lot of athleticism out there. And pretty nice plays and a strong arm when he needs it. Dickerson trying to work with him, just being more efficient. We've seen him take a couple extra steps at times. You know, a little double pump in the glove. How about just catch it, throw it, and get it done with.
And a strike to Michael Conforto. DHing tonight. Mickey Callaway, with the American League rules, can add a hitter to his lineup. So Conforto, instead of being in the outfield, will DH. And Cashner, strike throwing machine here in the first inning.
I like to see it, and he can get on that 4-seam fastball as well. Good heater right there at 94 to start the ball game.
Conforto's hitting 5 straight games. Just inside.
Well, such a good pitch right there. If he can command that fastball like he's showing here, glove side to these lefties, he'll crisscross in there with a slider at times, bury the curve on the back foot.
Well, Conforto, since the All-Star break, has 5 home runs and 12 RBIs. He's in his 4th season already at 25 years old, out of that fine program at Oregon State. Center field for Mullins. Cedric in on it now, and he's got it. So real good start for Andrew Kashner. 3 up, 3 down, go the Mets. Until after Labor Day, so they're enjoying some baseball. Let's get a look at the Orioles Southwest starting lineup. Low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. VR, Nunez, and Jones with Trumbo DHing. Trey Mancini in the number 5 spot. Very good numbers in August, and that's positive because he has struggled a good part of the year, finally finding that stroke. Beckham, Davis, Joseph, and Mullins for the O's.
And let's take a look at Jason Vargas's pitch arsenal this season. Got 2-seam fastball, a changeup, really his bread and butter. Fastball change combination. The problem is there's not a lot of command with his pitches this year, and of course not a lot of velocity coming out of Vargas's arm. And topping out at about 87 with the fastball. There you see the elevated numbers. Just been mired with some injuries as well. Broken hand, only 2 wins, 8.75 earned run average. See just the 43 punch-outs in 47 innings and 67 hits given up. Everything ballooned. Opponent batting average 333.
Jonathan VR in the leadoff spot. He has a 2-game hitting streak working, 2 for his last 8, but on the homestand against the Red Sox, just 3 for 16.
Now Orioles offense really has to be patient here against Vargas. This is below hitting speed stuff. No more 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Gotta gear up to get it and maybe out in front on a hard slider. Vargas, very soft thrower, and if his stuff is on, he's tough. Faded away right there. Only 81 miles an hour. So the ability to discipline yourself, let the ball travel as long as possible. You really got to think about the big part of the field, especially right center for the righties.
In his last start last Tuesday against Cincinnati, he pitched just the 3rd of an inning because of rain. That one hung and he hooks it foul. And he did allow 3 runs in that game. Took the loss against the Reds. And you may have seen on the graphic that Mike was talking about 12 starts, no complete games. Not only does he not have a complete game, his longest outing of the year is 5 innings.
Yeah.
And he's done that 5 times. This one's slicing down the line. That ball is trouble for Bautista, and it falls in there for a base hit. VR is thinking 2. Jose can throw. Here it is. He is out at second base. VR running on the arm of Bautista, and he's gunned down at second base.
Wow, Bautista still possessing that strong arm. I think maybe had 1 year where his arm was off a little bit, but that arm strength has come back. It's going to be a close play here. There's a little flare down the right field line, but Batista's always had a strong one out there. And how about that quick snap tag by Rosario? Pretty impressive. Batista not wasting much time down there and getting around the baseball. Really the key here. Okay, a little flare. It's pushing away from Batista, but watch how he gets his body around at the end so that he can take that little crow hop and throw a strike and get that lead out at second base.
The one down. Here's Nunez. And he'll take ball one. Renato has hit in his last 2 games. And as we showed you in the open, 13 games, he's batting .348 over those 13 games. There's another base hit. It'll fall in front of Austin Jackson. So back-to-back hits to begin the inning. And Nunez on with one down.
I'd like to see that. Take a look at the defense for the Mets behind Vargas, Nimmo, Jackson, and Batista in the Mets outfield. Rosario and McNeil turning 2 up the middle. The veteran Todd Frazier over at third base. Flores playing first base tonight. Plawecki doing the catching.
That brings up Adam Jones. Adam 5 for 16 with a couple of ribbies on the homestand. He went 3 for 8 against the Mets in the 2-game series at Citi Field in early June. Nunez has not shown that he's a stolen base threat. In fact, he doesn't yet have an attempt.
How about Adam Jones? .320 batting average, couple home runs, 11 stakes with 3 stolen bases. Yeah, 3 stolen bases since the All-Star break. A lot of the bats heating up. Adam Jones has been very consistent all season long, but turning up a notch since the break. A pretty good pass right there. A little change up, down, and away. So Adam a lot of bats off Vargas when he was with the Royals. And of course, when he was with the Royals, he had that bounce back year after Tommy John making the All-Star game last season, midway point, and one of the better pitchers, obviously, first half of the season.
And the 1-1 is too tight. You saw Nunez leading off first with a big smile. Wilmer Flores, the Mets first baseman, they're both from Venezuela. So they get reacquainted over there at first base as Wayne Kirby whispers something to Nunez. Yeah, Adam, 3 steals since the All-Star break. And he's picked up 2 stolen bases since Cedric Mullins got here. So what do you think? Maybe the old man showing the young kid, hey, I could still do this too?
I like it. Hey, yeah, why not? I mean, the Orioles looking to try to obviously put more runners in scoring position, more opportunities. And I think Buck Showalter's starting to see there are more opportunities out there, and send some of these guys, especially the veteran guys that have done it before.
Vargas, for a lefty, does not do a good job controlling the running game. There have been 8 steals against him in 10 attempts. It's not a very good ratio. Plawecki has caught only 7 all year.
Yeah, they've had a hard time controlling the running game. It's one of the many problems the Mets have had this season.
Chopped to third, played there by Todd Frazier. The second out there, McNeil back to first. And there's a double play to end the inning. So 2 hits, none left. We head to the second. No score. games in early June.
Yeah, not a lot going on with these two teams offensively at this time, back on June 5th and 6th. And you see the batting average numbers, but the Orioles did just enough to win these two ball games. They won 2-1 and 1-0. You see the runners in scoring position. There you go, 2 for 7, and that was really the key. There were a couple sac flies pushing runs across. The Orioles offense doing much better here recently, and we just talked about the Mets playing better on the road. So you never know. You might see more scoring done, but I know back then, boy, both offenses were struggling.
And Cashner deals high to Wilmer Flores. Well, that two-game sweep by the Orioles, so unusual in the sense of the way the season has gone for the Birds. I mean, they won the first game 2-1, and they won the second game 1-0. And when you consider that they've won only 4 games all year, scoring 2 runs or less, and there were 2
right,
of them.
there they were.
Back to back. I mean, it's so unusual. Cashner falls behind Flores 3-0.
Yeah, times were tough. It's been a tough season, obviously, for the Orioles, but they had just lost 7 in a row. So it was nice to turn things around and win some close games against the Mets.
Flores, 27 years old, as we mentioned, from Venezuela. And he has proven to be very versatile. Came up as a shortstop. Strike at the knees, 3-2, and most recently playing at first base. Got some pop in his bat. Last year hit 18 home runs.
Yeah, surprising pop as well. And you know, the beauty of signing a shortstop. Typically shortstops very athletic, and a lot of organizations target shortstops. See that foul ball go. Just because they have the ability to move around and obviously have a longer career. And Flores is a perfect example of that.
Of course, he was almost traded once at the trade deadline, and the Mets didn't like Carlos Gomez's medicals, and unfortunately he found out he was traded. Then it was rescinded, and a strike 3 called on the outside corner, and he flips the bat.
Man, that is some nasty movement right there. Flores giving up on it and letting home plate umpire know. Take a look at this two-seam fastball. Great location once again, and it is a little too close to take there with 2 strikes. Just whispering that edge. Maybe not touching it, but pretty darn close. You know what? I'll tell you what. Cashner's been working that outside corner here and showing that he has that command on the edge. So that's a good sign.
Well, if Cashner can perfect whispering, he'll be onto something. I like it. Here's Brandon Nimmo, one of the rising stars for the Mets. 25 years old in his 3rd season. This ball's hit to right center field. Long run for Adam Jones. He'll get there, and he makes the catch. The 2 down on the fly ball out. Well, the Birds will wrap up this 2-game series with the Mets tomorrow, and all fans receive an Orioles Maryland State t-shirt. And it is a good-looking shirt. You're going to love it. So come on out and join us. Orioles.com for your tickets. I have to remind myself when there's a fly ball to Adam Jones to write down number 9 and not number 8, because for the past 11 years I've been writing down number 8. It's just habit. 2 down. Here's Todd Frazier, and a strike at the knees.
Man, just filling it up, down and away. Down and away to the righties, pitching end to the lefties. Sharp.
Frazier in his first season with the Mets. This one's hit to Adam, just about right where he had him played. And he's got it. So the Mets, for a 2nd straight inning, go 3 up, 3 down. Cashner's retired all 6. Vargas, but some hitters, they must just like the warm weather, and Trumbo's one of them.
Yeah, it might have been that little all-star break time off, because Mark Trumbo has just turned it up incredibly. 455 with runners in scoring position. The Orioles have needed that. Already 12 RBI in the month of August, almost doubling his complete output prior to August. I mean, Mark Trumbo's seeing the ball well. He's driving the ball to all fields right now. Unfortunately, a little knee problem, so we're going to have to keep our eye on that. But he has been the Orioles' hottest bat with power and situational hitting.
Vargas misses outside. Now, Vargas has dominated this matchup. Trumbo's just 4 for 21 against him. And it does make sense. Here's our AT&T achieving more, and here's Trumbo in interleague games.
Yeah, he has been very consistent with his interleague play. You see the 6 home runs for Trumbo. You know, I mean, 6 of his 17 home runs, so really making an impact. And looking to do some damage here.
And that's why you would not be surprised that Vargas has success against Trumbo, because of the changeup. Orioles love that fastball.
Well, they sure do. And Vargas is key, really. He's got to be able to establish the fastball in on the righties, and that'll make that changeup much more effective.
The race is on, and Vargas gets there ahead of Trumbo, who, as Mike said, having trouble running. So 1 down here in the second. Our Maryland Lottery contestant of the game, Kevin White of St. Charles, has won $500 for being selected, and will win $500 more for every Orioles home run hit in the game tonight. You can play Home Run Rich's scratch-offs and win up to $50,000, or enter those non-winning tickets for a chance to be the contestant of the game. Visit mdlottery.com/homerun. Here's Trey Mancini. Mancini having a very good homestand. In fact, overall, Mike, in this past 17 games, his bat has really come alive.
Oh, my goodness. Look at these numbers. 313, 5 home runs, and 12 stakes in his last 17. Talk about seeing the ball well. Mancini's always had incredible plate coverage. Unfortunately, the first half, some real tough luck. He has settled down, stopped grinding that bat into sawdust, and just relaxing. And when Trey Mancini's loose and having fun at the plate, he's as dangerous a right-handed hitter as there is in the game. I mean, power to all fields. You've got to stay back tonight, though, on Vargas.
Mancini took an 0 for 3 on Sunday, although he did have an RBI and a sac fly, but that halted his 6-game hitting streak. He is without a doubt one of the key players moving forward in this rebuild. Swung at the breaking ball, and it almost hit his foot.
Yeah, pretty good breaking ball right there. Vargas, when he was sharp at the beginning of last season, those breaking balls had that consistent finish where they would bury down into the dirt. Hitter would look at it and say, wow, that's a meatball, and then it would just look like pickup speed going downhill. That was a nice breaking ball there, but there have been some serious inconsistencies. Look at pitching coach Dave Island there for the Mets. Actually had him in Kansas City.
That is a foul ball. Laz Diaz there. So Mancini back to the plate.
Along with the many injuries that take a look at the StatCast here. Yeah, StatCast AI powered by AWS, and you see where Boom Boom's been targeting that 32% up the middle. That is his game, really. 30% on the pull side. Trey's so good at using the whole field.
Center field for Austin Jackson. He puts it away. And Mancini retired and 2 down. Well, how about last year, his final season in Kansas City? He put together an 18-11 year.
Yeah, pretty impressive. 4.16 earned run average, but it was really the first half that separated him. He had 12 wins and an earned run average of 2.62. In the second half, whether it was fatigue or just everybody figuring him out, that earned run average jumped up to 6.38 for the second half, and it hasn't slowed down. Now up to 8.75 here this season.
Yeah, he really did have a tale of 2 seasons. Here's Beckham, and he'll take a strike. He went 12-3 in his first 16 starts, and then 6-8 in his last 16 starts. And that could be one reason why Kansas City didn't want to bring him back, because they got to see him pitch the entire season, And the second half was nowhere near the first half.
Yeah.
The Mets gave him a 2-year deal.
Well, you got to believe Island brought him over, though, right?
Right.
So, hey, you know, he's got some stuff. Now, a lot of things not working for the rotation. Some serious injuries. Obviously, Vargas not living up to what they expected this season. See the numbers on the road there. Wow, 339 batting average, 31 earned runs, and 27 1/3.
Left field, there's Nimmo. And he's got it. A 3 up, 3 down inning for Jason Vargas. Through 2, no score. Not score, and the Mets, for whatever reason, they love room service. They love hitting on the road.
Yeah, how about it? I mean, scoring a run and a half more on the road, pretty impressive numbers, and obviously that'll lead to more wins on the road. They are having problems at Citi Field, their home field up there in New York, but turning it up. So the Orioles better be on top of their ball game. Don't let this team in with extra hits. Better have some tight defense as well, because all the offensive numbers elevated when the Mets hit the road.
Here's Austin Jackson, one of the new Mets, and he'll swing through a fastball. Cashner 2 strikeouts through the first 2 innings.
Cashner looking good, man. Command of all of his pitches, moving the fastball in and out. A pretty impressive start against Tampa in his last outing, but the start prior to that, he got roughed up down in Texas.
Sure did.
I wonder where it went, because he was on a nice little roll.
He has just 1 win here at Camden Yards. His other 2 wins came on the road. At Chicago and in New York against the Yankees. 1-2 on Jackson. Jackson began the year in Seattle, and as they began to make all those moves, of course, Jerry DiPoto, he makes a move just about every day. I mean, he's that kind of a GM, but they traded him to Texas, but the Rangers had no intentions of keeping him. So when he went to Texas on July the 8th, less than a week later, the Rangers just released him. Popped up to shallow right. Adam Jones was right there, and he's got it for the out. And now Austin Jackson is with the Mets. Well, listen up, Birdland. Dunkin' Donuts has the perfect way to celebrate O's game day. Dunkin' Donuts Perks members receive medium hot or iced coffee for 99 cents. Oriole home games June through August. Your local Dunkin' Donuts is only a short stop away. A little light rain coming down.
Is that why the fans are booing? Because of the rain? Oh no, it's because of Batista's up.
Doesn't matter what uniform he wears.
And there are no days, not even with the Orioles anymore. But, some pretty good competitive battles.
Yeah, but now he's in the same division as Bautista.
Yeah, right.
NL East.
Yeah.
Although I don't expect Bautista will be back with the Mets next year. Now 37 years old and not putting up the numbers that he has in the past. 2 quick strikes by Cashner. Just outside.
Good try.
Mike talked about the home run ball. 17 home runs allowed by Cashner, but the one plus for him in that department is 11 of the 17 are solos, unlike what Dylan Bundy has gone through this year.
Well, that's for sure. And I think Cashner, you know, if he doesn't have anybody on base, he's going to be more aggressive in the strike zone. I mean, most pitchers should be. And unfortunately, when he is, they're just elevated a little too much.
3-2 on Bautista, who still has a real good batting eye.
He had a home run in last night's ball game, so still got some juice.
This ball sliced to the gap. Adam Jones on the run. He'll get there, and he runs it down. 4 consecutive putouts by Adam Jones in right field, and 2 men down.
Yeah, nicest one right there. You got to have a quick jump, quick first step. Adam has always had a quick first step in center field, and there, look at that tight line, man. There is no serpentine at all in that one. He is direct, making it look easy.
He looks really good in right field. The 2 down. Here's Kevin Plawecki, the catcher. .216 batting average for Plawecki. He's just 2 for 22 in the month of August.
Boy, whistled one foul on that right field line. A little tardy there. I don't think Cashner ought to mess around with anything else other than that heater.
That ball hit the back of a chair where a fan was sitting and came to rest behind her back. So all she did was reach around her back and grab. Oh, I have a souvenir.
Wow.
Andrew Cashner, now 31, his 9th season, first with the O's. Weak ground ball wide of first. Cashner's got to get over. Davis flips it there, and he gets the out. So 9 up, 9 down for Cashner, mid-3rd, no score. Back in 1998, Chris Hoyles became the 9th player in baseball history to hit 2 grand slams in one game. He did so in a 15-3 win at Cleveland. And then in 2009, right here at Camden Yards, Felix Pie, 4th Oriole to hit for the cycle, as the O's tied a club record with 12 extra base hits, 9 doubles, in a 16-6 win over the Angels at Camden Yards. And what I remember about that game is Mike Scioscia wasn't too happy with Pie. He got the triple last, and he celebrated because he completed the cycle. And Socha thought in a game that was out of hand, he was showing up his team.
Oh,
and it
man.
had nothing to do with that. It had everything to do with, wow, I got a cycle.
Yeah, right. Very tough to do.
Well, looks like the weather's improved already.
Oh, it's beautiful out there.
Museum there in the distance. Here's Chris Davis. Lower third of the O's lineup in this scoreless game. Davis is really struggling. He is 0 for his last 12. And in those 12 at-bats, he has struck out 10 times.
Yeah, had some tough ABs over the weekend. Trying to get it back on track.
Of course, the Orioles have been striking out quite a bit. In their last 7 games, the team has struck out 76 times. And in the past 7 games, they've had 10 or more strikeouts in 4 of those 7 games.
Yeah, the offense has been inconsistent all season long, kind of streaky in that regard. Had a nice little stretch where it seemed like the whole team started to use the whole field. Actually here in this month, I think offensively they've been more consistent. I just think some of the Red Sox pitchers just big arms. Sale came in throwing some
David
cheese.
Price.
David Price, yeah.
That's a good take. 1-2. Now, of course, when you do strike out, though, nothing good can happen because you don't put the ball in play. And that's one thing they hope to improve on as they move forward. Let's get a look at our PNC inside the numbers. So even though they have been striking out, they're still producing at the plate when they put the ball in play.
Yeah, well, much better, obviously, than they were the first half of the season. Runs per game up when they were, under 3. 268 batting average. There are a number of hitters in this Oriole lineup. They're much more consistent. They're starting to drive the ball, so that OPS getting up there, taking walks. But, Mark Trumbo really kind of setting the pace here in the month of August. Mancini, Beckham, so many bats really starting to pick up a little bit. I mean, it's nice to see finally a little bit of a threat 1 through 9 instead of just a couple guys being hot.
Davis puts it in play. Vargas quickly, the flip in time to Wilmer Flores to get Davis. So one away here in the Oriole third. Fans, the Orioles host the Yankees August 24th through the 26th. And for each game, fans are encouraged to bring any non-perishable food items and cash donations to the park to benefit the Maryland Food Bank. It's all part of the 32nd annual Orioles Reach Food and Funds Drive presented by Masson, WJZ TV, and Pompeian Olive Oil. For your tickets, just visit Orioles.com. Of course, each year, the Orioles tend to top their donation to the Maryland Food Bank from the year before, and that's all in part all due to the fans, really. So hopefully they'll be able to do that again this year.
Yeah, it's fun. I know there are a lot of players, wives. We get to go down there and interact with the fans, and I love when Buck Showalter's wife gets down there screaming on some fans, help donate and bring some food.
There's a bouncer they had to shift on. That's McNeil, the second baseman. He retires Caleb in 2 down. Well, I think what's most enjoyable about that is heckling the Yankee fans to put more money in the pot. Come on, what do you mean $1? Throw a 20 in there. You drove all the way down from Manhattan. You got to have a 20 in there.
There you go.
The 2 down, and here is Cedric Mullins, who will bat right-handed against Jason Vargas. And a strike at the knees. Cedric has hits in 3 of his first 4 games in the big leagues. He looks very polished.
Doesn't he? I mean, just so nice and quiet, not in any kind of rush to get things done, just seeing the baseball. More impressed with just the couple at bats he's had right-handed. Picked up a base hit, a walk. It's nice and quiet, and the right side's giving him some problems.
Well, he's looking fastball, got a changeup, so 1-2. Cedric course, is a product of the player development system, and they should be very proud in how he has come along. Mike, you know, because you're in uniform in spring training, but whenever he got into a game, he did something you noticed.
Absolutely.
And you came away thinking same thing with Trey Mancini for the past 2 years. I mean, last year Mancini made the team because of spring training. There's a bouncer to Todd Frazier. And retired as Mullins, and back-to-back 3-up, 3-down innings. 7 in a row retired by Vargas.
Built for baseball, built for an Orioles uniform, gold gloves in center field, but flashing the leather over in right field. 4 straight putouts, but none as pretty, of course, as the one he just made on Jose Bautista, cutting him down in the gap. Take a look. I mean, he's got to go a long way. 59 feet, only 58% catch probability, and he makes it look easy. Nice tight line there by Adam Jones, and of course, Cashner appreciating the good defense.
No score as we head to the 4th, and the Mets are testing the new guy out there.
All right.
Here's Rosario. Cashner gets ahead 0-1. 9 up, 9 down for the Mets so far. Rosario called out on strikes his first at bat. Bounce to short. Beckham backhands. And gets his man 1 away.
Nice play right there by Tim Beckham. Beckham's had his problems defensively out there early today with Dickerson. And nice sound backhand play right there. Getting the body behind it. Nice little momentum to the target. Easy first out.
By the way, Steve Wilkerson, who's been out with an oblique strain, and unfortunately his was rather serious. It's taken him a while to come back from that. He finally started his rehab today, and he went 3 for 3 in Gulf Coast League play. And I would imagine whenever he's activated, which will be soon since he started a rehab, that's a base hit as it hits the bag and it rolls into right field. Davis runs it down, flips it back to Jonathan Villar. So how about that? McNeil gets a base hit off the base. And the Mets' first base hit.
That's some target hitting right there. Whistling one, pitch down and in. Good fastball, and he turns and burns, and there you go. Kicking up off the base. And Davis giving chase to it as it kicks away. Take a look here. Davis thinking that one's going to be down in the corner. And it kicks off the bag, and there he goes. Up and after it. When he finally gets to it, a little glove flip to second baseman Villar.
So the rookie McNeil picks up a base hit. First time tonight, Cashner pitching from the stretch. Strike 1. Yeah, but you would imagine, Mike, when Wilkerson gets here, that he'll see some time at shortstop. He'll probably see some time at third. He'll see some time at second. The Orioles love his versatility, but again, he played shortstop in college in a major college program.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to believe he's going to get a lot of playing time. Wouldn't be surprised if Buck tries him at every position, you know, moves him around. So there's one position that he's more comfortable with. Of course, every one of these Oriole infielders are pretty versatile. They can move around. Beckham's played both second and third.
Well, the defensive part of the game moving forward as this rebuild really continues is the defense has to be there because you can't afford extra outs and extra base runners. So the plays that should be made, you have to make. And unfortunately, this year we haven't seen that as consistently as we have in the past. And he gets Conforto down on strike, so that's strikeout number 3 and 2 away.
Oh, what a nice pitch. And really everything set up by that fastball Cashner's got, and the ability to spot it inside and out. And here starting to pitch on that inner third, just breaking out of the zone. That's where you want to throw him. Well executed for the second out.
Here's Wilmer Flores. He was called out on strikes his first at bat and did not agree with Jeff Nelson. Cashner likes to work fast. He has never beaten the Mets. 0-3 lifetime against New York.
Almost looks like he's on a mission tonight. I mean, he is just filling up the strike zone with everything. He's mixing in all his pitches. 2-seamer, 4-seamer, a breaking ball there, hard slider. The changeup he's thrown in there a couple times.
Ground ball to second. Tough hop there for VR, but he plays it cleanly and throws out Flores. So a base hit off the bag and one left mid-4th. Pitchers duel, no score. Is brought to you by the all-wheel drive RAV4 Toyota. What drives you? Visit buyatoyota.com for great deals. Beautiful night now here at Camden Yards. First game of a 2-game series against the Mets. Young family here at the ballpark. He's got the binky there just in case. Oh, just in case is right now. On cue, Dad. Way to go. Jonathan VR, he'll take a strike. Each pitcher faced the minimum 9 through the first 3 innings. Cashner retired 10 in a row before the base hit allowed by McNeil. VR singled his first at bat and was gunned down by Bautista trying to stretch it into a double. Vargas gets ahead 0-2, and again all this off-speed slop, it really bothers Oriole hitters.
Right. Yeah, and really what's getting him that fastball command. So he's able to pitch in a little bit with the fastball and then pull a string on the changeup. He's always had the great arm speed on that changeup. Fortunately, real some tough luck right now. So I'll put some pressure on Vargas. I don't think it'll take a lot. Get him unhinged.
Got him with the changeup. First strikeout for Vargas, 1 away.
It is a pretty nasty pitch, though. I mean, good arm speed, pulls the string and turns it over on the end. So a little screwball action right there as he finishes strong with that pointer finger over the top. And it pushes away. They are out there reaching.
Renato Nunez singled his first at bat, so he now sits in 3 straight games. Big opportunity for him. Of course, we do have to keep in mind, hey, Cal's here, that the Orioles' top prospect, Ryan Mountcastle, also happens to play third base. Now, whether he'll be there long term, we don't know, but right now he is a third baseman. And Ryan Mountcastle can hit.
Oh, boy.
So this is why these games the rest of the way are so important for the players who are already here. They need to take advantage of the playing time to plant those seeds when the decision makers go into the off season and say, well, you know, that Nunez, he could hit. We got to find a spot for him.
Right.
Mountcastle's 2 for 4 tonight for Bowie. And there's a 1-out walk taking on Richmond. Fans, we invite you to join fellow students, alumni, and supporters for University Nights at Oriole Park. Fans purchasing a University Night ticket package receive a unique Orioles cap featuring the participating school's colors and logo. Caps are limited, so be sure to reserve your seats now. Orioles.com/university. So Vargas picks up his first strikeout of the year, and Nunez earns the first walk against Vargas. Here's Adam Jones, bounced into an inning-ending double play in the 3rd. Let's get a look at our league leaders, brought to you by Coons. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons.
Yeah, 3 or more hit games this season. Adam Jones right there at top of the list, 14 this season to go along with his very consistent year. Boy, he's been putting together these big multi-hit games, just trailing Segura.
He now has 33 multi-hit games for the year. Line foul the other way. Yeah, Mountcastle 2 for 4 tonight. He's batting .300 at Bowie. Austin Hayes is 3 for 3 tonight. He has a grand slam. So it's good to see Austin Hayes coming back after that ankle issue that kept him out a good part of the year. And Keegan Aiken, another solid start. The other thing that, you know, we'll learn eventually, but the September call-ups, that's always a topic as we get later in August, and tomorrow's the middle of August, August 15th. How many of those prospects will get called up, and will they get called up if the Orioles don't feel there'll be enough playing time for it?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, Austin Hayes is already on the roster. He may be here, but Mountcastle is not yet on the roster.
Right. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the team does. Obviously, they want to get a look at some of the young talent. DJ
Stewart has a home run tonight. You keep hearing his name popping up.
Sure.
And the other part of this, too, is that we have to remember teams still can make trades through August 31st. The player just has to get through waivers.
Right.
And the man on deck, Mark Trumbo, the way he's hitting, you would think a contender might be interested in a bat like that. So if a spot is vacated between now and the end of the month by somebody on this team being traded away, that opens up another spot. One and two on Jones. So Vargas has to know that Nunez is not a stolen base threat. At least he hasn't shown that yet, but he's trying to keep him close because Adam Jones does bounce into double plays, and he's already bounced into one tonight.
Yeah, I think this is more cat and mouse with Adam Jones. Busted him in a couple times with some fastballs and then soft changeup away.
That's towards the gap. That's going to get down for a base hit. Jackson trying to cut it off. He does get there. Nunez goes to third, and Adam Jones hustles into second base with a double.
That is some really good base running right there by Adam Jones. Never being satisfied and head up. Watching the ball. Take a look here at the slow breaking ball, and does not fool Adam Jones at all. He stays strong. He's an oak in there on that breaking ball. No leak forward. Pounds it out into the gap, and then he recognizes the angle of this throw in. I mean, just terrible alignment right there by the Mets, and Adam Jones taking advantage of it. Nice base running. Picking up his 31st double.
So the Orioles have 2 in scoring position with only 1 down. And that brings up the red-hot Trumbo infield in. Opposing batters are hitting .333 against Vargas with runners in scoring position. It's not a very good average. It is for the hitters. Sky to right, overs Bautista, tagging is Nunez. Bautista has it. Here comes Nunez. Here comes the throw. Bautista has a good arm, but it's up the line. And Nunez slides in with a run. An alert behind him. Adam Jones tagged as well. He ends up at third.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice job there. Trumbo not wasting any time. Gets a pitch that he can handle and gets it plenty deep enough. Drive Nunez in. Take a look here. At the catch, Nunez taking his time, making sure, and shifts it into the next gear and in there safely. Bautista does still have a strong arm, but on the backside there, and you see Bautista getting behind it. A quick crow hop, a little fade up the line.
Third two-seamer.
Yeah, isn't riding as true as it had in the past. And Trumbo, it's another lousy stake in the month of August.
Trumbo's 43rd RBI. Mancini with an RBI chance now with 2 down. Orioles have lost 5 in a row and 6 of 7. And they've gone 2-9 in their last 11 games. Let's get a look at our Lowe's whole team together. And you're always looking for balance. And so far, there has been balance in the month.
Yeah, post All-Star break, guys have been heating up. And with the hot bats, obviously comes some run production. There's Trumbo with the 15, Beckham 13. And most of those guys swinging the bat so well. Mancini's got 13 as well. Going to drive one in here with the 2 outs.
Well, Jones at third with 2 down. Mancini takes a walk, very patient at bat. Second walk in the inning. Goes up 2 on with 2 down. Vargas this year has averaged about 4 walks per 9 innings, which is elevated from his career numbers. In his career, he's about 2.5. So that's another 1.5 walks per 9 innings. He began the season on the DL because he was hit by a line drive in a spring training start on his glove hand, and he fractured his right hand. He had to have surgery. 2 on for Beckham with 2 down. And there's a strike.
Well, take a look at Jason Vargas's pitches here. The speed we talked about, not very overpowering. 86, almost 87 miles an hour, and the opponent's hitting .395 on a sinker. Changeup, which is really his best pitch, 81 miles an hour, .292. The 4-seamer's getting hit at .278, and even the curveball hit a .300 clip. That's what Adam Jones whistled out into that left center gap.
Beckham flied out to left field, his first at bat. Tim now 0 for his last 11. You get a look at the runners there. Jones and Mancini third and first with 2 men down. Well, he timed it. It's a little bit out in front.
Yeah, 75 miles an hour. Wait an eternity. Stay back on that slow breaking ball.
Turned into a lovely evening to watch a game. A lot of rain went through the area last night, late afternoon into the evening. That ball's hit towards third. Frazier charges, throws on the run in time to get the hustling Beckham, and that'll do it. So the Orioles get a run, but they strand 2. Trumbo's sac fly gives the O's a 1-0 lead. Masson is brought to you by PNC. Make today the day. And by the University of Maryland Medical Center. Be a part of something greater. Those with a 1-0 lead on the Trumbo sac fly. Yep, the Hawaiian shirts, they are popular.
So far this game eerily familiar to the ones we played back in June against the Mets. Very low scoring, not a lot of hits.
Brandon Nimmo lined out to Jones, his first at bat. Breaking ball bends in there.
Yeah, nice slow hook there. 77 miles an hour. Not a lot of hitters are going to pull the trigger on that. Cashner's dumped it in there to steal a couple strikes in this ball game. He's pumping the fastball in there in the mid-90s right now.
Now, Nimmo, an interesting player. He was the Mets' first-round pick back in 2011. He's from Cheyenne, Wyoming. And in Wyoming, they don't have high school baseball. So he had to get noticed in all the summer leagues that they have in Wyoming. That's a good take there. 3-1. He's one of only 16 natives of the state of Wyoming to play in the major leagues.
Wow, pretty impressive.
Tom Browning, of course, had a great career as a pitcher. 12 years, won 123 games. And O's fans know Mike Devereaux came from Wyoming. Borderline pitch, at least Nimmo thought so.
Yeah, good fastball there. A little cheese at the knees. He's been locating down and away. Man, whenever he needs to, it seems. And you like to see that, the confidence in the fastball to spot it up.
And the 3-2 is line foul.
And that's a defensive hack right there. Another good pitch by Cashner, a little two-seamer, and all he could do, Nimmo, was just whatever he could. Stop that one from getting to the catcher because it was heading in there for strike 3.
Well, this would be the 7th pitch in this at bat. Nimmo already has a career high in home runs with 15, and it's just outside ball 4. And he does that every time on a walk. He sprints to first base. The Orioles invite fans to stop into the ring and enjoy WWE Birdland Mania at Oriole Park Wednesday, September 19th, when the O's host the Blue Jays. Choose between 2 special ticket packages with both options including a Birdland Mania bobblehead. That's a pretty good looking bobblehead there. First walk allowed by Cashner, second base runner for the Mets. And Todd Frazier takes ball 1. Todd Frazier ended last year with the Yankees. He wanted to go back there, but they were looking to save payroll-wise in certain areas, and that was one area they decided. And now Miguel Andujar, the rookie, is starting every day at third base.
Right.
But he's from New Jersey, so he wanted to play for New York if he could, so he could go home. And the Mets said, okay, come over here.
Yeah.
2-0 the count.
Well, Frazier, when he went to the Mets, he thought he was going to be on a postseason team. It's like a lot of the Mets have thought the last 3 or 4 years with that rotation, but injuries just, it's bizarre how many incredible injuries they've had to their key players. Cespedes probably lost for the bulk of next year too, with a couple heel surgeries, and the pitchers, list goes on and on.
There's a base hit ripped in the left field. So Cashner fell behind. Frazier picked one out. The first 2 reach here in the 5th inning. Well, Ronald Acuna continues to just terrorize opposing pitchers. He has led off now 3 straight games for the Braves with home runs. Last person to do that was Brady Anderson back in 1999 for the Orioles. And he has now homered overall in 5 consecutive games.
Man.
That ties the Braves all-time record, and he's what, 19?
Boy, there's some incredible young talent.
Well, Cashner has been hurt this year by that one bad inning. And the Mets all of a sudden now have 2 on and nobody out.
There have been a couple borderline pitches here, though, in this inning that Cashner should get. That little breaking ball right there looked like it got the top of the zone.
This could be 2. Beckham to VR and back to Davis for the double play. That helps. 6-4-3 and 2 men down.
Yeah, nice play right there. And nice that Cashner knows that he can get that 2-seamer down there at the bottom of the zone. He can roll over ground balls when he needs to. Beckham, hard hit ground ball, getting right down to it and making sure he sees it into the glove. There you see a couple hops, taking it in. And a nice little flip, uphill feed to VR and cleaning it up nicely. Of course, Cashner liking that 6-4-3.
Here's Bautista. You may have heard the boos, and there's strike 1.
I was talking to Bobby Dickerson today, and we showed him obviously earlier in the game working with the infielders, and I went down there and had a little word with him when he was hitting some ground balls, and he told me he had to jump the infield today, kind of get on him a little bit and let him know how serious it was up here, the importance of positioning, the importance of fundamentals, and the way you're supposed to do it on a daily basis. And he got their attention the right way, and it's nice to see because there have been some good plays here in the early going. And a lot of times it's just about understanding the importance of defense and really taking it personally, you know, and knowing that really every opportunity, like you said, leads to chances for the other team to push the runs across the plate.
1-2 on the check swing.
Now, let's take a look right here. Good pitch, and he holds up.
The Nimmo at third with 2 down. A little bit low. Oh, and Brian Roberts was here the other day for his Hall of Fame induction. One of the things he talked about was the routine of doing your job correctly every day. And he talked about Sam Perlazzo when you and he were the double play combination, how you each had your routines with Sam, and pretty much he was the only one that could hit you the ground balls.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, one thing, I mean, as a younger player, I hated that. If a different guy would try to hit me ground balls, I was like, what are you doing, man? I need the same.
I got my guy.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So, but you two shared Perlazzo.
Yep, I got him first.
As you should have. You were the veteran.
Well, I was in the last group, and Brian was probably in the first group.
Yeah, but you get certain amount right at you, and then you gesture to your left, and then you gesture to your right, and Sam would hit the ground balls on either side, and you'd make a motion, and then you'd go up the middle, and
yeah.
every day.
Yeah, I used to have so much fun with Perlazzo because it got to the point where you say gesture, and it wouldn't be just a point. I might just shrug my shoulder or just nod my head, a subtle little move, and if he hit it in the wrong spot, I'd just stand there and say, what are you doing, Sam? I just went like this. It's all about having fun, right? Getting your work in.
And getting the work in.
Fun. Yeah.
And the 3-2 is low ball 4, so there's another walk. So 2 walks this inning. 7-pitch walk as Bautista heads to first.
Well, he was being real careful right there. Made some good pitches, but Bautista showing the patience, laying off those tough sliders down and away.
Talking to Ruben Amaro, his first base coach. Ruben Amaro, a fascinating career. Of course, he played. Then he became the general manager of the Phillies. And then he went to Boston as their first base coach. And when they had the managerial change, he then ended up in New York. And there are those that think he someday could be a big league manager.
Why not?
Certainly knows every aspect of the game.
Absolutely. Done it all.
There's Kevin Plawecki, the catcher. Cashner trying to get out of this jam. 2 men down. And a strike at the knees.
Another good fastball, 95 miles an hour. Good cheese. Very efficient to start this ball game. Of course, a couple hits to lead off the inning has led to 21 pitches so far. And he kind of pitched around Bautista a little bit right there. So being careful with the 1-run lead.
One. Plawecki in his 4th season. He's from Purdue University. First round pick back in 2012. The Mets are on a very unusual 5-city road trip, including going back to New York to play that makeup game last night against the Yankees. That was a makeup of a Sunday night game that had been rained out. They're 3-1 so far on this trip. It's an 11-game road trip.
Nice block there by Caleb.
They started in Miami, then went to New York for the 1 game, now 2 here, and then they go to Philadelphia, and they have a 5-game series which begins on Thursday with a doubleheader.
Oh my goodness.
So the only good news about the 5-city trip is that it's all on the East Coast, all in the Eastern time zone. Ground ball and a base hit in the right field, and that'll tie the game. Big 2-out base hit for Plawecki, the number 9 batter. Coming in from third is Nimmo, so that leadoff walk does come around the score, and we're tied at 1.
Well, pretty good piece of hitting right there. Getting that fastball middle away, and he's taking what's given, not trying to do too much. Shooting it to that open slot. Of course, the runner at first base, and Orioles got a little shift on right there, so easy single picking up the RBI to tie this one up.
Bautista stopped at second. So the pitch count now up to 24 this inning. And here's Ahmed Rosario with 2 on. Rosario has struck out. He was called down on strikes, and he's grounded out. Rosario made his big league debut last year. He was called up in August. He eventually played in 46 games. The Mets still have Jose Reyes on this team, but he's not a regular anymore. Turned 35 in June. There's Jose on the bench. 16th big league season for Jose Reyes.
Pretty amazing how young some of these players get their opportunities and really make an impact. And that's one of those guys.
Mullins will have to play it on a hop. Rounding third, heading for the plate is Bautista. Here comes the throw home. It is cut off, and the Mets get the lead. Back-to-back 2-out RBI hits, and New York in front 2-1.
Well, pretty good piece of hitting right there, and looked like there might be a chance at the plate, but ball kind of fading. And Davis wisely cutting that one, keeping everybody in check there at first and second. The fastball on that inside corner. Not a terrible pitch. Rosario just pulling the hands in there, finding enough of that barrel to have it die out in front of Mullins. And there you see the cut with Bautista crossing easily.
So both walks this inning have come around the score, and the Mets have a 2-1 lead. Roger McDowell out for a chat.
Everything looked to be under control for Cashner until this inning. A couple walks. Things just not working the way he wanted. I think he wanted Plawecki. And unfortunately, the pitch that he wanted to try to get him out on caught too much of the plate. And he extended this inning and turned it over to the top.
Plawecki stopped at second, Rosario at first, and here is Jeff McNeil. The rookie singled off first base. His ground ball hit the bag and popped into shallow right. It's a changeup on the first pitch. It's one of the fascinating things in baseball to me. Pitching coach goes to the mound. The hitter's convinced he's going to get a fastball.
Okay.
Every hitter.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so he gets back-to-back changeups, and it's 0-2.
Beautiful pitches as well. And that's how you want to throw them. Start at the knees and just drop down. Perfectly executed.
McNeil out of Long Beach State. He had 5 seasons in the minors before getting a promotion. And he gets a piece of that one to stay alive. Drafted in 2013. So McNeil's from Long Beach State. So is their starter tonight, Jason Vargas. But Vargas went to 4 colleges before he finally was drafted out of Long Beach State, including LSU. He enrolled at LSU, and then he found out that they wanted him as a hitter, not a pitcher. And he said, but I'm a pitcher. So he transferred out. So ball 1 is pitch 31 for Cashner this inning. Two on and 2 out. Ground ball to VR. Jonathan has it. He'll get McNeil, and that'll do it. So 2 runs, 2 hits, and 2 left. Mid-5th. Mets now have a 2-1 lead. So we get to the bottom of the 5th. Mets now have a 2-1 lead. And Cashner got out of it without any further damage. So if that's his one bad inning, he did a pretty good job. Hi, how are you? Thanks for coming. Strike 1 to Chris Davis. Joseph and Mullins follow. Chris bounced out to first base, his first at bat. Now 0 for his last 13. Vargas has never won in his career here at Camden Yards. He is 0-4. Despite his ERA here at Oriole Park, 3.15 in 5 career starts. Davis rips it to right field. Bautista's back on it and makes the catch just in front of the warning track, and then ends up on the warning track.
Wow, pretty nice play right there by Bautista. Yeah, pretty good swing. Like Chris Davis really staying inside and pulling the hands in close to the body to find that barrel, but Bautista running it down on the track. Take a look at the crusher. Short and sweet. And Bautista hustling it out down there, making it look easy.
So allowed out, 1 away. Ball 1 to Caleb. Caleb bounced out to second base his first at bat. They shaded him up the middle, as they do again here. He's just 1 for 9 on the homestand, but he's been playing a lot. This is his 15th start since the All-Star break, and you see the shift on him with McNeil on the shortstop side. Flores, excuse me, well wide of the bag at first. And he beats the shift, hits it the other way. That's good back control.
It sure is. Nicely done right there. And you know Caleb was shooting for it. I mean, infield pull all the way over, hit a bullet up the middle, and it was taken away from him. So the heck with it. I'm staying inside this baseball and take my chances with the one defender on the right side. And he finds that hole and picks himself up another knock.
Here's Cedric Mullins. Bounced out to third, his first at bat. Bunts at it, out in front of the plate. Plawecki to first in time. He gets Mullins 2 down. Caleb ends up at second base.
Pretty good try right there by Mullins. If he can get it out there a little bit further. Push it out there past Vargas, but little touch right there, and Plawecki bouncing out of there, making a nice play. Take a look.
Oh, it went straight down.
Yeah, got stuck in that dirt. Didn't get any kind of kick.
Well, the official scorer very generous. He gave Cedric a sacrifice, even though he was bunting for a base hit there. You rarely sacrifice when you're the second out of the inning.
All right.
So here's VR. Breaking ball hits the inside corner. Jonathan a bloop single in the first, then was gunned down trying to stretch it into a double by Jose Bautista. And he struck out in the fourth. Another off-speed pitch.
Change. Good change. I mean, he hasn't thrown many bad ones. When he's thrown that changeup, it's been around the knees. That are right on that outside corner and fading off. He made some good pitches.
Well, the Mets got two out hits to get runs in. See if VR can come through. That will be the next thing they'll outlaw. Bluffing the second.
Inside move.
Well, they took it away. You can't bluff at third anymore.
Right.
And he popped them up. Bautista in right. He will put it away, and Vargas has a 10-pitch inning, including the base hit. Through 5, 2-1 New York. Special pregame ceremony. Representatives from each Maryland County library were acknowledged for their work with the summer reading program. And as a reward for youth who participated in their library summer reading program, the Orioles donated 5,000 tickets for games tonight. And then on Monday, August 27th, the summer reading program is an essential part of building children's vocabulary and preventing summer learning loss. And a lot of the children are in the stands enjoying baseball with their families.
And one of the hardest things, obviously, getting your kids to read in the summer. Nice to see they're being rewarded here at Camden Yards. Get a baseball hat, beat the bird, because it is rewarding. And obviously, these kids need to experience different places. How about this? A lot of kids don't get to travel around. I mean, you can travel, you can go anywhere you want reading a book, right?
That's right.
You can read about things over in China. You can read about the moon. Whatever your imagination desires.
You read about Maine.
Absolutely.
Yeah. A lot going on up there.
Yeah. Well, really?
Well, so I heard. 1-on-1 at Conforto. Ground ball towards the hole. There's VR. Wide range. He spins. Got him! What a play by VR. He takes a base hit away from Conforto.
Yeah, that's a beauty right there. VR, take a look at the pursuit angle right here. This chopper looks like it's headed to Adam Jones, but he's out there on the grass and a nice little pirouette, athletic play right there, and off balance, able to throw a strike while he's falling into the outfield grass. Wow, what a play there by VR. Davis ready for the throw up the line. There it is, the reach. Just one extra step, and off it goes on the money.
Got him
Nice
by plenty.
play.
Bobby Dickerson happy about that. Well, we were told when VR was acquired that he had more range than Jonathan Scope covering ground. Of course, he doesn't have the Scope arm, but we saw the range there, and that was a real good throw.
Yeah, it sure was. I think most of these infielders have shown that great athleticism, the ability to make the great plays. But at the major league level, it's about every play being made and make outs. Nice to see that tough one made, though.
Flores is 0 for 2.
Nice pitch. Took a little off the fastball. 89-mile-an-hour two-seamer.
Popped him up. VR or Davis. Davis is calling off VR. VR says, nope, I got it. And he does in 2 down. Well, of course, with Andrew Cashner, run support is a big issue. And Mike, we broke down his starts, and it's pretty fascinating when you compare the ERA to the run support. But look at the bottom. In his 9 no decisions, he's pitched to an ERA of 2.91, but yet the run support just 3.25. I mean, you get this guy any kind of runs, that 3-10 record would certainly be a lot different.
Oh, you got that right. And then there were other games, obviously, in his 10 losses. See the balloon earned run average, but you never know if you have a little bit of offensive run support early in a ball game to change that kind of attitude. I know a lot of starters, when they're not getting run support, try to do too much. But yeah, Cashner not getting the run support. Cobb not getting a lot of run support either. But you hope things are starting to slowly but surely turn around here for the second half with the offense going. Cashner throwing a gem right now, just needs a couple extra hits to help him out.
Ground ball towards the hole. There's a base hit for Nimmo the other way. So 2-out single. Well, Cashner has the worst run support of any pitcher in the American League. 3.12 for the season. Alex Cobb has the second worst run support of any pitcher in the American League, 3.13. That's pretty amazing that you'd have 2 of your starting 5 that lead in that category.
Yeah, it's frustrating for sure. And both new to the organization, new to the Orioles uniform, and certainly have pitched much better at times and deserve more wins under their belt.
Here's Todd Frazier. Throw to first instead. That chases Nimmo. Frazier contributed in the rally in the 5th. He singled after Nimmo walked. Nothing in 1 on Todd Frazier. Now 32 years old. He was Cincinnati's first-round pick way back in 2007. And quite a run there for the Reds before they traded him to the White Sox to shed his contract. And then the White Sox last year traded him to the Yankees.
Yeah, still not that pop though, so got to be careful here.
Yes, right now the Little League World Series is going on, and he was a Little League World Series champion. Ball and a strike on him. And he popped him up. Easy play for Mullins in center field. Cedric is there. And he's got it. So a 2-out single, a man left. Our Ram Do-Ups brought to you by Ram Trucks. Experience the power and the toughness of Ram at your local dealer, or log on to ramtrucks.com to get to work. Guts, glory, Ram. On Masson is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. And by WB Mason, who has the name brand products you love at amazingly low prices. Who but WB Mason, the official office product supplier of the Baltimore Orioles. Now here is Nunez to lead off. O's down by a run. Adam Jones and Mark Trumbo will follow. Left field. Did he get enough? Nope. Doesn't look like it. Nimmo's back on it. Now moves in. And he's there for the out, one away.
Oh, pretty good swing right there. Just off the end of the bat.
And Nunez 1 out of 2. He's also walked. So Vargas, with that out, Mike, has now pitched his longest outing of the year. 5 1/3 innings. He had 5 other starts of 5 innings. It's his longest start since last September 26, still with Kansas City. He went 6 innings in a win against the Tigers. And ironically, the score in that game was 2-1, as it is here.
Wow.
There's Adam Jones.
And very efficient still. Only 75 pitches thrown, 74 pitches thrown.
Adam doubled his last at bat. That helped lead to a run. Orioles don't manufacture a lot of runs, but they certainly did in the 4th inning. A 1-out walk. Jones doubled to get Nunez to third, where he scored on a sac fly by Trumbo. Mark on deck. Trey Mancini right behind him. Left field. Nimmo back on it. Near the wall. It's gone. It got out of here. And we are tied at 2. Adam Jones more of a line than the ball hit by Nunez, and this one carries out. His 13th gets the game even at 2.
That ball was covered right there. Line drive. Out of Camden Yards. Doubled to left center on some heads-up base running by Adam Jones. But this ball was smoked. 4 miles an hour off the bat.
And another $500 for our Maryland Lottery contestant of the game, Kevin White of St. Charles, courtesy of Mr. Jones. So Adam staying hot. And this one more of a line drive, and it carried out.
Yeah, take a look here. The circle change and a 2-0 count, and Adam Jones waiting on it. Center cut, and he stays behind it. No leak at all. And just smoked that baseball and bruising up some hands out there in the seats.
Trumbo sac fly in the fourth. He also grounded out back in the second. They're 3-0.
Now, falling behind certainly doesn't help Vargas's case. Getting ahead with that fastball in kind of helped him cruise through the first 5 innings of the ball game.
And there's a 4-pitch walk. And the potential go-ahead run is on the third walk. Our PNC minor league insights brought to you by PNC. There's no better time to act than today. PNC, make today the day.
And take a look at Blaine Knight, Orioles' 3rd round pick this season, and he's just heading to Aberdeen. Just signings at 4 quality pitches. And fastball sits 90-94 and touching 96-97. So big arm. He's a tall drink of water. I was talking to Ben McDonald, who said he scouted him out watching him pitch in the SEC for Arkansas for 3 seasons, and said he is a real good pitcher. Got quality arsenal. See his numbers with Arkansas at 2.80. Went to the College World Series and did very well there, obviously. And pitching in the Southeastern Conference, facing some of the best talent in college baseball. He stepped up. I mean, had a very strong college season, pitched 112 innings. So they're going to take their time with him. He's probably only going to get a handful of innings here the rest of the way out, but I know the Orioles excited to have that good arm.
There's Bobby Wall getting loose, one of 8 relievers in the Mets bullpen. Yeah, well, apparently Blaine Knight beat all of the top pitchers in the Southeastern Conference this year, because he was their Friday night pitcher. There's a bouncer to short, could be 2. Rosario to McNeil and back to first for the double play. So that'll end the inning as Mancini bounces into the 6-4-3. But Adam Jones with a home run to left field, his 13th. We are back even at 2. Budweiser from 5 until 7 p.m. at Frank and Nick's West End Grill in Baltimore, featuring former Orioles pitcher John Parrish and, of course, his sidekick, the Oriole Bird. For the complete schedule and more information, visit Orioles.com/trivia. Austin Jackson leads off. Cashner gets ahead on 1.
Slow breaking ball showing up again.
Right to VR. Hard hit ball, but right to Jonathan. 1 down in the 7th. Orioles fans, when the O's score 5 runs or more, you get 50% off regular menu price online orders at papajohns.com with the promo code Orioles5. Enjoy the quality pizza you have come to expect from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Guess who's up?
Bautista.
Jose Bautista. There's a strike. Came off speed.
Yeah, Cashner's changeup's kind of being featured here in the 7th inning. Actually, he has been afraid to throw it all game long. I think this might be the most usage he's had on that pitch.
This is with a fastball. Bautista in his 15th big league season. He had a 10-year run with the Blue Jays. They did not bring him back. He eventually signed with Atlanta and then came to the Mets. And there's a 1-out walk. Walks have hurt Cashner tonight. That's his 3rd. The other 2 in the 5th inning both came around the score.
Well, he's being careful with Bautista once again. He's trying to work the edges, but if there is a hitter in baseball that knows his strike zone, it is Jose Bautista. Seemed like he went on a stretch maybe 5 years in a row where he had over 100 walks. He was rolling out 40, 50 home runs with Toronto.
Evan Plawecki, one of the RBI singles in the 5th. Both those RBI hits came with 2 men down. Paul Fry now getting loose. The Mets have 3 left-handed batters in the lineup: McNeil, Conforto, and Nimmo. The other 6 batters are all right-handed as Cashner reaches 100. Trying to get through this inning. It would be back-to-back starts of 7 innings. First time this year for Andrew Cashner.
Just that one tough inning where he threw 32 pitches. Kind of labor through there, but very efficient.
Popped them up. Mullins in on it. Cedric gets there, and he has it for the 2nd out.
Not a lot of hard contact tonight off Cashner. A nice job keeping him off balance, working in and out. Command of everything.
Well, that'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Ahmed Rosario, who singled a drive and a run in that rally in the 5th inning. He had the 2nd of the back-to-back RBI hits. You know, we're talking about the run support, and of course, when you have the 2 worst supported pitchers in your league in your rotation, not a surprise. But if you look at the 30 teams in the major leagues, the only starting staff that gets less run support than the Orioles are the Tigers. The Orioles are 29th out of 30. 3.90 for the O's, 3.87 for the Tigers. And you combine that with the Orioles starters as a group, the 2nd highest ERA in the league, and that's why you are where you are. Ball gets away from Caleb, so going to second base is Bautista.
Throw that one out. Get rid of that ball, Caleb. Frustration.
That'll be a wild pitch.
Caleb going down for the block. Nice job. Kind of sneaks in that 5-hole though, and then he loses sight of it, picks that head up, and boom. Off he goes into scoring position.
So Cashner hopes that won't hurt. Now the go-ahead run in scoring position with 2 down. Squibb out in front of the plate. Caleb will get it to first, and that'll retire the side. So the walk left stranded. 7th inning stretch at Camden Yards in a 2-2 game.
the 7th inning stretch. Adam Jones finding a fan and saying, here, have some batting gloves. Adam Jones with the homer and a double. And how about the look on his face? Are you kidding me? Wow. Thanks for coming to the park. What a day, man. What a day. Well, Jason Vargas out of the ball game. 6 innings pitched. Season high for Vargas. And, boy, he had it working tonight against the O's. Only 82 pitches. Scattering the 5 hits. Gave up a couple runs. Of course, that won a home run by Adam Jones. Fans, regular oil changes at Jiffy Lube will help your vehicle's engine run cleaner, longer. Jiffy Lube, drive in today. Where Bobby Wall coming out of the Mets bullpen. Well, good fastball. I'm sure he'll be starting Beckham off with it. Mid-90s heater. Get up to about 98. Let's take a look at his numbers on the year. 5 games. Came over from the A's. Was actually in AAA. He was part of that Familia trade. Now their one-time closer sent off to Oakland. See the numbers on the year. .313. Everything a little bit elevated for Wall. Having problems commanding the breaking ball, but pretty impressive AAA numbers.
And 1 on the swing and a miss. He is from Ole Miss. 5th round pick back in 2013. There's the skipper's a Mississippi State guy. There's a rivalry. Davis on deck and then Joseph in this tie game. Fastball misses high, 2-1.
He doesn't mind challenge, and he really likes his fastball, and really that's his put away pitch, that elevated heater at the top of the zone. He starts messing around with his off speed pitches and he ends up falling behind. He's always had a problem with command. The walk rate up over 4.
Two and 2 on the foul ball. Beckham hitless tonight, and he's now 0 for his last 12 and 2 for his last 16. He's been very streaky this year. Gets on a little bit of a roll. Looks like he's got it figured out, and then he falls into a 2 for 16. And he got him. Good fastball.
Wow, cut it loose there. 97 up and away. And a tough pitch to get to. And really working everything on that outer third. Heavy velocity, all fastballs. Very aggressive attacking Beckham.
Well, he doesn't have a lot of big league service time, but he's averaging a little bit better than 1 K per inning. Here's Chris Davis. Wall was born in Springfield, Virginia, yet still went to college at Ole Miss. Right center field, back it goes. Davis got one, and it's out of here. It's gone for Davis. And the O's have the lead at 3-2.
Well, when the crusher catches one clean, a lot prettier than that. I mean, Davis whistled one out to the warning track in right field earlier in this ball game, taken away from Batista. He decides to beat the shift and hit it over everybody. And he gets into it. Looked like a changeup. 106 miles an hour off the bat.
So Jones' home run tied it. Davis gives the O's the lead, and another $500 for our Maryland Lottery contestant of the game, Kevin White of St. Charles. So his 15th of the year.
Take a look at the crusher getting into one here. Change up, elevated up and out over. And Davis just wristing one out. Spanking it deep up into the seats, about 425 feet away. Love the reaction on the bench. Oh yeah, everybody wants the crusher to get going.
Austin wins.
Oh, yeah. He's got something with the Mets, right? Got his first major league hit against the Mets.
Yes, he did. You and I were there. And his parents were there.
Right.
Even more important. Caleb singled against the shift his last at bat, so this time they're not shifting as much. McNeil's on the second base side. You know, I know they look at every at bat when they decide who they're going to shift on, and nowadays it's just about every hitter. But Caleb, to me, does not seem like a dead pull hitter, and that's how they had him play that last at bat.
Absolutely. You know, and Caleb's right. And, he's using the whole field, much like Mancini.
So 1 out of 2 with the base hit. Dave Eiland on the phone to the bullpen. You see, there's spreads it around. So based on those numbers, you could see why they would do it. But again, they're not that far out of whack. And there's a walk. And the Orioles have the lead now, and they have a 1-out base runner. The Orioles are proud to join Johns Hopkins, the University of Maryland, and other corporate leaders to support Baltimore City's Youth Works program, which seeks to provide as many as 12,000 Baltimore City youth with summer employment. To donate, visit BaltimoreCityFoundation.org and choose Mayor's Office of Employment Development Youth Works. And to learn more, visit youthworks.oedworks.com. Ball 1 to Cedric Mullins. Here's Sewald, Paul Sewald. Paul Fry still up, so it looks like Andrew Kashner's night is done. But now he has the lead. Right center field, on the run Austin Jackson, and he gets there for the out. Nicely done by Jackson. That ball was hit hard.
Yeah, it really was. Jackson, the veteran outfielder, a pretty good adjustment right there. Mullins just covering that fastball. Jackson out there taking a nice tight line. And at the end, making an adjustment as it was getting up. Looked like it was going to beat him deep. Well, Mullins whistling that one out there, 104 miles an hour off the bat. Sounded like it.
VR bloop single in the first, was caught trying to stretch it into a double. He has since struck out and flied out. VR, with 1 strikeout tonight, has now struck out in 8 consecutive games. Two and 0. For Jason Vargas, who went 6 innings, tonight is his first quality start of the year. And it comes in his 13th start.
Well, I mean, it's not funny, but he, at that time back in June, he had a 5-inning start, and that was his longest start of the year. And here now against the Orioles in August, the longest start of the year for Vargas. So he's put up some pretty good numbers in his career, although he's never had a win here at Camden Yards, like you mentioned. He's got a pretty good career earned run average against the Orioles.
3-0 on VR. Might have had the green light, but takes, so 3-1. And there's another walk, so 2 walks in the inning. That'll force Joseph down to second base. And VR will take first, and here comes Mickey Callaway. So already trailing 3-2. He doesn't want to see a big inning. And he will go to Paul Sewald coming on here in the 7th.
the Mets bullpen. Doesn't have a win out of the pen, but 4.63 earned run average and racking up more punch outs than innings pitched there at 46 2/3. Points hitting just 254. Righty's up to 269. Lefty's down to 238. Getting up to 7 home runs though. Not really overpowering. A little deception in his delivery. Pretty good fastball slider combination for the righties. Now you see the inherited runner stranded and not too good. He's only at 44%.
So the runners, Caleb Joseph at second, Jonathan Villar at first, and here is Renato Nunez, who has singled, walked, and scored. He's also flied out. And there's a pitch outside, 1-0.
Well, nothing wrong with little tack on runs. Big 2-out hit.
Breaking ball for a strike, 1-1.
A tough slider. Seawald's got that arm angle. A little bit funky at the top. Doesn't give hitters a very good look.
Nunez has really seen the ball well now. And that's a close pitch, and he took it. Paul Seawald is from Las Vegas, and he went to Bishop Gorman High School. Same high school, Joey Rickard.
Yeah.
And Joey Gallo of Texas. There's a strike in there, 2-2. Johnny Field also went there. So right now you have 4 active major leaguers from that same high school.
Pretty good high school.
All 3.
For baseball players anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Marty Cordova also went to that high school.
Sheesh.
Nice shot at the moon. And 3-2, the runners will be off. Bounce towards third, diving stop, but it's off the glove of Frazier in the left field. Caleb's going to score. Villar goes around third, then puts on the brakes. So that'll be a base hit and RBI for Nunez. And alert base running by Caleb Joseph. Bobby Dickerson immediately told him, get going.
Yeah, nice job. Nice piece of hitting right there. And there's that tack on run the Orioles were looking for. Hard hit ground ball. Frazier trying to show the range, but tips off the glove. It looked like Rosario was going to be there for the potential backhand play, but it gets knocked away. Caleb Joseph, take a look here. Letting the ball get by him. Keeping the head on the ball, though, and he saw it get by. He saw it get by Frazier. I'll tell you what, you got as a base runner, never take your eye off the baseball. I know you got base coaches out there, but you can make your own decisions most of the time, and most of the time you don't have to get yourself out of running form by picking up the ball.
4-2 lead now. Here's Adam Jones. Adam 2 out of 3 in his solo home run in the 6th inning, tied the game at 2. That is a big 2-out base hit. Skied to right for Bautista. Jose is there, and he has it. And the inning ends. But Chris Davis, with 1 out, nobody on, came up. And against Bobby Wall, got into one. That home run to center field gave the O's the lead through 7, 4-2 O's.
Two-game set here, and Andrew Kashner taking the bump for the O's, looking to follow up a strong 7-inning start, and he had it working early. Nice little two-seam fastball to lock up Rosario. Had incredible command, and the defense helped him out as well. Adam Jones flashing the leather, but the breaking ball, the two-seamer, everything working for Kashner. Even the leather behind him, believe it or not. Oh yeah, VR with a beautiful play to help out Kashner, and he loving it. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save. Strong line here for Kashner. 7 innings, scattering the 5 hits, couple earned runs on the board, 3 walks, 3 punch outs, and he's going to give way to the Oriole bullpen. Another good start for Kashner. Paul Fry now coming in, 19th game out of the O's pen with a 3.32 earned run average. Got 19 punch outs in 19 innings. Opponents hitting just 239. Really controlling the righties well at 206. And getting the outs on the ground, 58%.
Gets ahead of Jeff McNeil. It's lefty righty this inning, so that's why Paul Fry comes on. Chris Davis with the home run that snapped the 2-all tie. O's now need 6 outs to get a win and remain perfect against the Mets. Fry last worked on Saturday night, the evening part of the day-night doubleheader, and allowed a run to the Red Sox. He's had a little bit of a rough stretch as of late. He's allowed runs in 4 of his last 5 appearances. Well placed fastball, 1-2.
Yeah, sure was. Got a short, quick arm, and really all about location. 92 on that outside corner. Good pitch.
Breaking ball hit towards short. There's Beckham. He'll have to hurry, and just in time to get the out. McNeil thought he was safe. Beckham kind of just flicked the ball over there.
A little flip. Yeah, not really aware, I don't think, of the speed here by McNeil. McNeil reaching out, and those lefties, boy, they get a half step out of the box anyway, especially if they're fooled. Does look like he got him. Davis reaching out there. Nice stretch. And Beckham just getting rid of it in time. There you see the stride, and bang, bang.
Yeah, the stretch made the play. Nicely done by Chris Davis. There's a strike to Conforto. Nothing in 2.
Nice job getting ahead. Castro on the pen.
Wilmer Flores, a righty, is on deck. Leonard Diaz with all the charts there to help out Alan Mills. Keeps track of where they are in the batting order and what the potential pitching matchups might be against those hitters.
Yeah, pitchers definitely like to know who they might be facing. Over a little quick game plan.
And the 1-2 is outside, doesn't chase. Conforto last year, 27 home runs for a career high. Souvenir in the upper deck.
A little tardy on that heater. Looking for the off-speed pitch.
Of course, the Mets played the Yankees at Yankee Stadium last night, then had to travel here. The good news is when they leave Baltimore, they only have to go to Philadelphia. See, that's the pitch that when Fry first came up, he was throwing for strikes regularly. And now it seems that that breaking ball is breaking too far off the plate, and it's not enticing the hitters as much. This will be the 7th pitch in this at bat to Michael Conforto. And he got him. Fastball in the inner part of the plate.
Nice.
So maybe he was setting him up for it.
Yeah, maybe get his eyes out there on the outside corner, and this one rode kind of up and in on him. Yeah, pretty good life on that fastball at 93. And you see it coming right from behind the ear. And take a look at the overhead slot. All over the dish, but elevated up above the belt to get him.
Andrew Kashner, Alex Cobb talking it over. Cobb is saying to him, hey, how come you got 4 runs? What's up with that? Cobb's next start will be this weekend in Cleveland. The Orioles had yesterday off. They also have Thursday off. Although they will have to travel on Thursday as opposed to yesterday just having a day off at home.
Yeah. Well, that little 2-game set that the O's had up in New York, Cobb actually won that first game 2-1. Pitching 6 strong innings.
Wide of first is Davis. Had it played perfectly. And the flip to Paul Fry will end the inning. So 3 up, 3 down inning for Fry. Mid-8th, O's with a 4-2 lead. Jim Hunter with Mike Bordick, and we hope you can join us out here tomorrow because all fans get this beautiful t-shirt with the state of Maryland there, the Oriole bird, and all different Oriole logos over the years. That's a good looking shirt, and you like the material.
Oh, very comfortable. You know, these new t-shirts, they're like 65% polyester, you know, 35% cotton, and they are super soft, man. Not like that old school stuff that used to scratch you up. Heck yeah, you can go right to bed in these.
So how about tonight, Andrew Kashner, 7 outstanding innings, back-to-back starts of 7 innings for Kashner.
Yeah, you love to see that. You love to see the late tack on runs as well for Kashner. I mean, he had everything working tonight. I got to believe it was his best start of the year. I mean, that 2-seam fastball moving, had the good fastball velocity as well. Breaking ball, stealing early strikes. And the changeup was working for Kashner. So fun to watch him pitch tonight, and fun to watch him finally get 4 runs get pushed across and in line for a win.
He's hanging around on the bench to watch it. Those are 3 outs away from a win here. Here's Trumbo against Sewald. It's a fastball by him. Sewald came on in the 7th, gave up the base hit to Nunez that allowed Caleb Joseph to score, and then he got Jones to fly out. Those would love to get one more run to make it a little easier for Michael Gibbons. He's now getting loose. Mets will have Nimmo, Todd Frazier, and Austin Jackson due. Like the Orioles, the Mets are going with a 3-man bench because of the 8th reliever. Of course, when they play in the National League, there's another hitter on the bench. Paul Sewald, the 3rd pitcher used by Mickey Callaway tonight. Bounce to short. Rosario waits on the hop. Plenty of time. Trumbo running with that bad knee, so he's out. And one away here in the 8th inning. MLB.TV is now available at a lower price. For just $49.99, watch every out-of-market regular season game, plus get a free subscription to MLB At Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV to take advantage of this special offer. Here's Trey Mancini. And a foul back. By the way, with Adam Jones tying the game with a home run in the 6th, and then Chris Davis giving the Orioles the lead with a home run in the 7th. It is the 43rd time now that Adam and Chris have homered in the same game. 43 times. That is the most in Major League Baseball among active players. The next closest is Albert Pujols and Mike Trout of the Angels. They have homered in the same game 40 times.
Wow.
So that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Especially with the tough go that Chris Davis has had, and Adam had that long drought without a home run.
Yeah, exactly.
Seawald gets ahead of Mancini, 1-2. See, that take right there shows you that Mancini's seen the ball. I mean, he watched it all the way into the glove, didn't even, not tempted in the least to chase that pitch. Slow roller to third. This is going to be a tough play for Frazier. Barehanded pickup and not in time. Mancini has an infield hit. Trey, don't stop that fast. You might pull a muscle.
Yeah,
man.
Exactly. I'll tell you what, he smelling out that base hit and flying down the line. Mancini out of the ball game. Defensive replacement right there, but a little chopper, and Frazier coming in with the bare hand, doing all he can do. And Mancini is flying. Let's see, get him on the clock. Oh yeah, he sees it staying fair, and he is getting it down the line. And when you're really that fast, that's how you stop. You don't break it down and run into the outfield. You break it down right on the dirt. Put the brakes on.
Joey Rickard will pinch run and stay in defensively. That'll bring up Tim Beckham. Time was called by the home plate umpire Jeff Nelson because he had to write Joey Rickard's name into his lineup card, which now is back in his pocket. Jeff Nelson, by the way, has had a great night.
Oh yeah.
We haven't mentioned him once. He's had a wonderful night behind the plate. He is the crew chief of this umpiring crew. Outstanding. Beckham 0 for 3, now 0 for his last 13. Ooh. This ball's hit well left field. Back it goes towards the corner. Gone for Tim Beckham. The O's have a 3-home run night and break it open here in the 8th.
Well, their offense has definitely been heating up, and Tim Beckham, nice to see him being a big part of it. And of course, 3 home runs, and now the 4th drive of the game. Of course, Tim Beckham, loud noise off the bat. Seawald trying to sneak that cheese on the inside corner, and how short can you get? Wow, that was right to the baseball, spanking it out of left field. Those with the 3 home runs. Heard of your local Ford dealers for great savings on cars, trucks, and SUVs. Orioles bat staying hot here at home.
So that makes it 6-2. It also means it's no longer a save situation as Chris Davis comes up. Yep, a lot of smiles there. Mancini got on base for him. They lift him for a pinch runner, and then Beckham hits it out.
Yeah, boy, what a nice swing. Just reacting to the fastball in.
So the Orioles with their 44th multi-home run game of the year. And they have been on a roll with the multi-home run game since the All-Star break. It's not fouled the other way. Miguel Castro replaces Michael Gibbons. That's why you bring your glove to the game.
Wait, that's not a glove. That's one of them old school gloves. Looks like a roadkill glove right there. And he makes a great play with it. Wow. Look at that glove.
That's a garage sale glove.
Yeah, that's Ty Cobb's old glove. I love it. And he made the play.
The ball's stuck in there. Can't go anywhere else. Davis has a base hit to center field. And Chris has a 2-hit night.
Davis with a couple nice swings tonight. Obviously the home run, but talked about his line drive out to deep right field. There, a clean single. And some outfield grass up the middle.
Still only one down. So Davis, his second multi-hit game of the homestand. There's Caleb Joseph. The Orioles now have 13 multi-home run games since the All-Star break. So you were talking earlier about the runs and the runs per game a little better. There's a big reason why.
You got that right. Finally, consistent power numbers going up. Ball starting to jump out of here. Yeah, for years, that's really been what the Orioles are all about. Some big hairy guys hitting home runs all over the place, and the homers really haven't been there.
Tyler Bachelor getting loose. Keith Hernandez told us before the game he loves that kid's arm. Two and 0. Each of the Mets' three pitchers have allowed 2 runs each. Vargas, a no decision. Bobby Wall, who's now the pitcher of record on the losing side, and Paul Sewald, who's allowed a couple of insurance runs to the O's. Two and 2.
Well, Caleb had a nice base hit to right field earlier in the ball game with Davis at first base. Big old hole over there on the right side. He tries to shoot the seawall pitch over there again.
It works the count full, 3 and 2. You see McNeil still on the second base side. Of course, they have to be prepared for a possible double play turn. Center field, Austin Jackson is there. And he's got it for the out. Davis back to first, and now 2 down. We hope you could join us tomorrow. More O's action, the series finale of the short 2-game series. Zach Wheeler on the mound against Dylan Bundy. Our coverage on Masson begins at 6:30 with O's Extra presented by Southwest. Then game coverage at 7 o'clock. We've got all the access you need right here on Masson.
Beckham finally breaking out of his mini slump, and 0 for 13 with the big home run. More separation.
Sack bunt in the 5th. He's also grounded out and lined out hard on a nice running catch by Austin Jackson in center field. Line drive, base hit down the line. That just stayed fair. Davis heads for third. Bobby Dickerson thinking about it. He's going to hold him up as Bautista gets it back in. So Cedric Mullins has another base hit. That's his 3rd double already. And he's only been here since Friday.
Is he quick on that inside corner? Wow. His first hit of his major league career was an inside fastball that he turned to burn on, and this very similar. The ball is smoked down the right field line, up and over the head. Flores at first base, hooking hard in the corner, and unfortunately gets a kick right back to Bautista, and Davis got a hold up at third base. Mullins walking into second.
So that'll be it for Paul Sewald as Mickey Callaway comes out, and we'll get Tyler Bachelor coming on looking for the final out in the 8th.
up on June 25th. Hasn't looked back. This will be his 11th appearance now out of the Mets bullpen. 4.32 and 8 punch-outs, 9 walks. So a little losing the command here at the major league level, but a big arm. Fastball up in the mid-90s, can top out at 99 though. A little power slider to go along with it. So the opponent's hitting 242. They're giving up a couple home runs.
25-year-old out of Savannah, Georgia. Chris Davis is at third, and Cedric Mullins at second with that protective guard on his left hand. Here's VR, who's been on base twice. So the O's with a 6-2 lead. 3 outs away from snapping their 5-game losing streak. That's a good fastball. Wow. 97.
Yeah, quick, right? Short, quick.
He pitched at South Georgia College in Douglas, Georgia. That's where the Mets found him. He couldn't hit 97. Try 98. There's Evan Phillips along with Miguel. Phillips just did get up. 0-2 on VR. Bounce to second. To his left is McNeil. He'll get VR, and that'll do it. But the Orioles get a couple of big insurance runs. Tim Beckham goes deep to left. His 8th home run of the year gives the O's a 6-2 lead. Baseball on Masson is brought to you by Southwest. Low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Now we head to the 9th. And the home run hitters tonight. Adam Jones tied the game. Chris Davis gave the Orioles the lead. Tim Beckham gave the Orioles insurance. So 4 of the 6 runs on those 3 home runs. And here's Miguel Castro.
I see those power bats coming alive. Castro having some struggles here lately in the month of August, especially. 3.86 earned run average, though, very good. 50 punch outs and 67 2/3 innings. Opponent sitting 221. Righty's just 217. Lefty's only 226. Castro some problems with command here recently. He can harness that fastball.
And there's a strike. Joey Rickard, who pinch ran for Trey Mancini, now in the game in left field. There's Trey with Mark Trumbo. That's a gapper. Adam Jones can't get it. That goes all the way to the wall. Nimmo can really run. He's thinking 3. And he flies around second into third with an easy triple leading off here in the 9th.
He gets after it. He runs hard on his base on balls. And, of course, if he's going to whistle one in the gap, he's going to be getting it. Sprinting, top speed, 2 steps right out of the box, splitting Jones and Cedric Mullins, and he cruises his way into third base.
That is some get around the bases speed there for Brandon Nimmo. So here is Todd Frazier now. Orioles with a 4-run lead play the infield back. Frazier singled in the 2-run rally in the 5th, and Michael Givens again getting loose just in case. Here's a high chopper. This is going to be a tough play. Castro throws too late, and he throws it down the line past Chris Davis. So Nimmo scores, and Frazier ends up at second base. That should be an infield hit. No RBI because Nimmo didn't break, but the error allows Frazier to get to second base.
Tough little chopper off the plate. It looked like Nunez was going to have a better angle on there and try to scare Castro off, but he calls in front and then forces the effort. And of course, the pitcher is not completely set up or has a good grip. You just don't know where it's going to go, and this one down the right field line.
So it is now 6-3, nobody out. And with the tying run on deck, it becomes a save situation. So Castro faces 2 batters, allows 2 hits. We'll get Givens in the 9th.
Fourth save. Got 3 this year. 64 punch outs, and he is a workhorse out of the Orioles bullpen. Always seems to lead in innings and strikeouts. Opponent's hitting just 258 off Givens. Lefty's up there a little bit though this year at 283. Not a bad number with inherited runners stranded at 78%. He'd love to keep him out there. Come up with 3 quick outs.
So Frazier at second base following the throwing error by Miguel Castro. And here is Austin Jackson, who is hitless. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Givens got in the game Sunday against the Red Sox. He had a scoreless 7th inning and then allowed 2 runs to get 2 outs in the next inning. It was a pretty warm day on Sunday. Not sure if he fatigued. There's a strike on the corner, 0-2. He had put together 3 consecutive scoreless appearances, including 2 saves prior to Sunday. Frazier at second, nobody down. And he got him. A 3-pitch strikeout, 1 away.
Wow, made it look easy there. Started him off with a slider, finishes him with a nasty slider down across the knees. Gets him reaching. Great location, well executed there.
Here's Jose Bautista. And a strike. Givens isn't messing around. 4 pitches, 4 strikes. Pop them up. Beckham at short. 2 down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Orioles. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. A lot of kids here tonight. These bring a lot of enthusiasm. Here's Kevin Plawecki, the number 9 batter, the catcher. And a strike. First ball he's thrown. Check swing, that goes to Beckham. He'll play the hop. He'll get it to first, and the Orioles win the game. Michael Givens comes on, retires 3 in a row to earn the save, and the Orioles snap their 5-game losing streak, getting the opener of this 2-game series against the Mets. Mark Trumbo and Trey Mancini like what they see. Givens get the save. Final score here at Camden Yards, 6-3 the O's over the Mets.